Tanya Rooney here, and I am with a wonderful human being today that I'm super excited to grill about her business because honestly, she's one of the first people I wrote down when I decided I wanted to do a podcast because I realized, oh my gosh, she has a really incredible community that if you really think about it, like she put some time and effort into building that community. So I met Stacey a couple of years ago. I honestly don't know how I got connected to you, but I ended up being on your virtual summit, and I'm pretty sure that's how we actually met. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't even remember who made that connection. It's just like you appeared in my life one day, and now I love every time I get to see you. And so Stacey St. John, please tell me about the community that you have and like how it happened and that kind of stuff right now.
Okay, so I actually have a few different communities, but probably the one I'm most known for is my Facebook community called Female Short-Term Rental Investors. And that community was born purely on a whim. No fancy story or strategy with this one. So I invest in short-term rentals at the beach. And that's one of the locations that I have investments. And someone had reached out to me who was a fellow real estate agent. I'm a licensed real estate agent in Ohio. And he knew that I was buying property at the beach and hosting vacation guests. And he came to me and said, hey, Stacey, I am selling properties at the beach, but I get asked questions all the time that I don't know how to answer. Would you mind putting together like some pointers for me? And I was like, sure, yeah, no problem. That's totally fine. So I started kind of making a list of things that I think would be important for him to know. And I got to thinking, I've been doing this 6-7 months now, and it's hard to remember what I knew when I knew nothing, right? So I popped into another women's Facebook group for real estate investors and just said, hey, if you were buying a property at the beach for the first time, what would you want to know? And the floodgates open. So, hundreds and hundreds of comments, right? And someone in one of the Facebook comments said, you should start a Facebook group about this. And I was like, yeah, I could totally do that. So since I was asking the question in another women's Facebook group, I was like, okay, well, maybe I should make this group a women's group. So I just threw it together. And I was, again, just absolutely flabbergasted that people would want to come over and join my community. And then I'm like, this is so fun. I love it. So that's how it was born.
That is so amazing. I love everything about that because it's just like okay, I'll do that from a random Facebook commenter.
And my nose itches. Does that mean I'm going to win the lottery or something?
Maybe.
I hope that's what that means.
Yes.
I'm going to itch my nose a lot. No. Yeah, it was definitely something that I had some experience in running a Facebook group, but I had no idea how this community of women was actually going to change my life. And it has been life-changing for me. So it's been just, again, a whirlwind. At the time of recording this, we've just celebrated our 3-year, I called it a group anniversary.
What it is.
That's what it is. But it's just mind-boggling.
So if your group anniversary is today, can you also now stem out, like, I know you have rentals and a portfolio and you do short-term rental management and stuff like that, but can you tell me about how the community has grown? Because it's not just a Facebook group anymore, like just a Facebook group of 15,000 people. Right. Is it like you welcome hundreds of people, I swear, every day when I look at it? It's like, oh, there's another 100 people that have joined. I'm like, where are these masses of human beings coming? Clearly, you're doing something right.
Well, yeah. So it has grown quite a lot. We've got right now about 55,000 women from all around the world who eat, sleep, breathe, and talk short-term rentals every day. And it's so fun. And then from that, I have some what I would call extensions. So I have a community called the STR Sisterhood, which is also the name of my podcast. But we have monthly meetups that are very, very targeted for different aspects of the short-term rental world. Meaning, hey, if I'm a rookie, I know that, the second Thursday of every month, I can go to a rookie meetup. If I want to invest at the beach, I can go to the beach host meetup. If I want to learn digital marketing so I can grow on social media, I can go to the digital marketing meetup. I'm not going to bore you with all of them, but we have.
And these meetups aren't in person though, right? They're like a Zoom
all virtual.
Or... Okay.
They're all virtual. Yeah, all virtual.
Convenient.
Very convenient. That's right. So on top of that, then I over time had people coming to me and asking me to help them in their own short-term rental journey. So I started a training, mentoring, and mastermind community called the STR Success Accelerator. Say that 5 times fast. And so in there, again, we have some of the most amazing women who not only are improving their skills through structured learning and training, but we have weekly calls where, we are celebrating wins together. We're answering questions. We are helping them in their operations. We're helping them with their tech, with their revenue management, with their business credit, with all types of different aspects that go into our world. But I think one of the things that's most rewarding for me is in each of these communities that I've built, it gives me goosebumps to talk about women helping other women, bringing together people and watching them help one another is the coolest freaking thing on the globe.
Yeah, I actually agree with this because I tend to do this. I I go to a meetup or I go to an actual event of some kind, and it's it's totally fine. I go to any event, whether there's men or women there. I don't care about that. But I end up gravitating towards certain humans, and then I might wrap them up in a bow and be like, hey guys, let's hop on a call once a week or once every other week and chat. And I've created things like that. And I've talked to a lot of women saying, I'm not usually I feel like so many of my friends, their first comment would be, I'm not usually friends with women or other women. I don't get along with other women kind of thing. They prefer dudes and totally fine. But I have so many friends like that because honestly, that was my story in college as well. I was just no, I'd much rather hang out with the dudes. Well, now I finally found the women that I did want to hang out with. I just didn't know that I didn't know which ones because there's certain ones. And it doesn't mean any woman can be part of any women's group. It's just how you act around them. Right. And the reason I brought up some of the other groups I've created is because another woman realtor I've been friends with for a really long time. She's just I actually don't like women that much, but this is the most nurturing space I've ever been in. Getting to actually if you can be vulnerable around other women and you feel safe, there has to be a safe space to do that, because if there's not, it goes really bad. But if there's a safe space, the kind of stuff that comes out when you can be vulnerable, I don't have any children, but I've got a lot of friends with kids. When they start talking about being a business owner, being the head of the household, a lot of these women, they literally are the breadwinner, and they're also parents, and they're also running a business, and they might have a real estate agency, and there's just so many layers to it, and it's so fun to watch women hold other women up, because it just doesn't. I don't know. I almost feel when I grew up, I had great friends. I still had talked to people from my school that are women, but it just it feels like we're almost bred to just hate on each other. And I don't understand where that comes from or why. So being surrounded by groups like that, like your group, it's a very nurturing place that you go into a free Facebook group, and usually there's a lot of shade and there's a lot of hate that comes out when you ask a question or you maybe make a statement of something that you do. But when you have the right recipe of women, it's not that way. It's just this comforting place where you're oh, cool, I can ask a stupid question. Yeah. That's the most important thing. I feel if we can create groups where you feel comfortable asking a stupid question, that's where you're going to learn the most, because you feel you have the ability to ask it, because not all of us feel comfortable asking them, at least at first, or maybe ever. So Yeah, it's cool that you created that. Like it's so incredible.
Well, thank you. You know, I totally agree. And I think that that's something that's really important to call out is, you know, something that I'm very proud of is that we are very intentional about the way that we approve posts, the way that, you know, I ask people to report others if they say something that does not align with our group rules, because I do want to create that safe space. And I feel like there are, unfortunately, to your point, so many Facebook groups that I have been in, and it's like, oh my gosh, these people are horrible to each other. Like, I would never imagine saying the things that some people say to each other online. And I do feel like maybe they feel like they've got permission to do so because they don't have to look that person in the face.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to waste my time trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I'm very intentional about is none of that belongs in my group. And if you see something like that in my group, report it, because they will be out faster than you can say Facebook group.
No, that's perfect. I agree. Like, I mean, that's one of the reasons that actually, like, I pay to be in masterminds. Like me specifically, I've learned that paying to play is actually awesome. I get better information by doing stuff like that. And that's actually one of the reasons I'm not in a lot of Facebook, like free Facebook groups, because of some of that shade. That I'm like, I don't need to get into a fight with this human being. Like, this is so stupid. Like, over, like, you know, somebody telling me that I'm ruining things because I'm a short-term rental owner, I'm ruining real estate. And I'm like, I have 5 properties. Like, like maybe if you want to target somebody, I guess target the big, huge REITs that literally own 16% of all like single family houses. Like I'm not that. And, you know, you can very easily get into those conversations in groups like that. So, so you have these like little offshoot groups, you have your mastermind. So you've built a lot of this stuff. Can you tell me, like, I'm really interested in how stuff like this comes up. Like whenever I have an idea, I have a gang of people that I'm on a text thread with. I actually have like 4 of them that I might, like, depending on what kind of topic it is, I might go to them and say, hey, I've got this idea. What do you guys think? How did that happen with, like, I mean, when you started the actual mastermind and then started maybe the calls, did anybody have anything to do with stuff like that? Like, who's your support crew?
Well, I definitely have a support group between, of course, my family and my friends. My hubby, this year we're celebrating 30 years.
Wow.
We got married when I was 6 years old.
You're younger than me, Stace.
I wish, yes. I'm dating myself. But so he's always been a big cheerleader. But something that I feel like I do inherently is I am very much a visionary. So a lot of things, if they come to me and I just decide to do them, right? And some of those things come to me because people are requesting or asking, right? Or commenting on Facebook. You should start a Facebook group about this. But you know, obviously from a perspective of, is this worth my time? Do I want to spend my time doing this? Over the years, as I have gotten much older and wiser and learned along the way, I want to do things that light me up. I want to operate in my genius zone. I want to outsource or have team members work on things that are either, you know, something that is not in my genius zone, is not in my skill set, or that they can do better and faster than I can, right? And so a lot of the things that I choose to spend my time on these days are the things that, again, I feel like I can serve other people in the best way possible, and they make me happy. They bring me joy. And the other things, the other aspects of my business, I have an amazing team around me to help me implement that. So the vision is oftentimes me. The implementation is oftentimes my team. Does that make sense?
It totally does. Yeah. Who, not how. Like, I feel like anytime I'm talking to other business owners, we're just all trying to figure out who, not how. And it's a roundabout way of doing it sometimes too, because I don't feel like we all know to ask that question. Like we sometimes just get stuck on, well, how the heck am I going to do that? And it's like, you shouldn't be asking that. You should be asking, who the heck's going to do that for me?
Right. Or who's going to connect me to the person who can help me do that?
Oh, right? Yeah. Oh, I know all about the connection thing. Like, I find that to be very important. Like, the community that we build around each other, like through networking, is so important. Like, that's how I've gotten, oh my God, so many things accomplished in my business. Like, I don't do this solo. Like, there's just no way. I don't do anything in my life solo. Like, I might be alone sometimes, but that doesn't mean that I'm solo making decisions. So awesome.
Right.
So now I want to ask, so you've already built, like, I'm going to call this your empire, because it most definitely is. Like, I mean, seriously, the sisterhood empire is absolutely a thing. Like, I feel like you're synonymous with short-term rentals now. Like, you're one of the industry leaders, whether you wanted to be or not. Like, you've created, like, I mean, almost 60,000 people in a group is ridiculous. Like, that's a lot. Even for a free Facebook group, that's a pretty big one. So you've clearly known how to do some things, but have there been, I like to tell people that people that have businesses, they just like take on more risk, or they're just doers, but we still have self-limiting beliefs that can honestly destroy us. It's just whether or not they do. And so, you being a pretty savvy business person, do you have self-limiting beliefs still, or have you had them in the past?
Oh, girl, how long is this conversation? No.
I know.
Yeah, I think everyone has limiting beliefs, and it's how we choose to deal with those limiting beliefs that really, really makes a difference. So I read a book by an author by the name of John Assaraf, and he wrote a book called Inner Size. And it's the whole concept of the book is it gives you exercises for your brain to rewire your brain for success. And that book was absolutely life-changing for me, because up until that point, I hope it's okay to say, and not sounding boastful, but I've managed to achieve success in multiple areas of my life. And I'm not saying that to like impress anyone, but what I'm saying is I managed to do that even with limiting beliefs. So once I understood and became aware of what limiting beliefs were and then how to deal with them, oh my gosh, I feel like the world is my oyster. You know what I mean? Like, it's again, if I have a vision of, okay, this is something that would light me up, I would love to do this, and I can help other people by doing this, let's do it. Right. Obviously you want to do market research and understand, if there's a market for that, but I'm very much of the mindset that I have this gorilla on my shoulder, and so my job is to keep that gorilla in his cage. Okay.
Yeah.
That gorilla is my limiting beliefs, or my set of limiting beliefs, or the phrases we repeat to ourselves all the time. Oh, I don't have time to do that. Oh, she's better at this than I am. Oh, I can't do that because of X, Y, and Z. Oh, I don't know how to do that. All those things. Oh, I failed at that before. I suck at that. I don't, all those things. Those are the gorilla. And my goal is to keep the gorilla in the cage. And if the gorilla ever comes out, I now am aware that, oh boy, that gorilla is out. I got to get that puppy back in real fast. Okay. I've also learned that the emotional extension of a limiting belief really only lasts about 90 seconds. Okay. So I know if that gorilla is out within the next 90 seconds, I can really stop the feeling, stop the pain of that gorilla being out. Okay. So it helps me actually manage that. And I've practiced it so much. Again, I'm very much in tune with my mind. I'm very much in tune with when a limiting belief will want to start to creep in. I can, lock that cage even tighter now. I didn't start out like that at all.
No, you put in the reps. That's honestly, we always have to put in the reps. It's so interesting. I love all of those things that you just said, because I think we all struggle with self-limiting beliefs, and we look at these people in our lives. Like people have made comments to me like, well, you don't have confidence issues, or you don't have fill in the blank of what they see, because that's what they see from the outside. And I'm like, are you kidding? No, of course. My mind is really mean to me sometimes. And I'm constantly calling other people out when they're mean to themselves, and just like a comment, like they might just make this flippant comment. I'm like, quit being such a jerk to yourself. Right. And I feel like I make those comments to other people because I need the reminder myself. Like when I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, you kind of look tired today. I'm like, what the hell are you talking to yourself like that for? Like, that's so rude. Like Mel Robbins would be like, please don't do that. Now give yourself 3 compliments, and then high five yourself in the mirror. Yeah. And I feel like self-limiting beliefs are a lot to do with that too, that it's like, stop, being such a jerk to yourself all the time. And, like we're actually pretty good at a lot of things. We're not always really good at recognizing that we're really good at a lot of things,
Totally. Yeah. And I think, again, that's human nature. One of the things too that I am very much intentional about is surrounding myself with things that remind me of it's going to be okay. Right. So you'll see like, okay, that sign says make today amazing. That sign says progress over perfection. That sign says perfect is boring. That sign says, like I have stuff all around me, like everywhere around me. Because for me, again, they're all feeding into, I choose to be happy. I choose to be joyful every day. And if I can do little things or see little reminders throughout my day, again, for me, it helps me keep that gorilla in the cage. For someone else, you might be like, wow, this lady is wacky. She's got signs all over her office,
But it's these little reminders. It's kind of like the 5 people you spend the most time with. Like if they're complaining, like all 5 of them are complaining, or even 1 are a complainer, like it just seeps into you. And the stuff that we say to each other, the stuff that we say to ourselves, like that's why I call people out when I notice it immediately. It doesn't matter who you are. And I will absolutely say something if it's anything super cringy, or if I'm just like in the mood to be like, hey, you were kind of a jerk to yourself just now. Like you said a lot of really mean things. Like, why are you doing that? Like you would never say that to your best friend. So why would you do it to yourself? And like, same thing with like the stuff around us. Like I try anytime I'm at a store and I see something that just delights me. I'm just like, oh my God, I saw this cute little thing that you can put on a fireplace the other day, and I don't have a fireplace. I don't actually care, but I think it's adorable. It would like hang under it. And I bought it because it delights me and it makes me happy and makes me go like, oh, that's so much fun to have that instead of this. So in the same way, like your signs, like I try to put things around me that are going to delight me or make me excited or make me happy, because that stuff seeps in. Like if your house is messy, you feel messy. Like this is just like a thing.
I'm feeling very messy today, Tanya. Very messy.
I can't tell you what it looks like in front of me right now either. So
one of the things too that I have discovered that brings me joy, and again, I feel like some of this comes with age and wisdom, but also a lot of self-discovery and learning, is I find joy when other people have joy in their lives, right? So as the most basic challenge, like think about walking through the grocery store and actually intentionally looking at someone and smiling at them. Yes. Actually just walking up to a stranger and paying them a compliment. Like these aren't difficult things. The world is so full of negative energy. What if we were intentionally kind to each other? And what if we went out of our way to be kind to one another? What would this world look like?
Yeah, if we did it in mass, it'd be really, really cool. Because there are times that I might see somebody's hair and be like, "God, their hair looks really fantastic today." And I've even caught myself going back to find them to be like, I need to tell that person that their hair was great, because they're gonna love that compliment. I still think about this guy. Like this happened 12 years ago. A man stopped me in a Skyway in Minnesota and was like, "Your hair looks really good today. Like I don't know what you did, but it just works." And then he walked away. And I still think about about him. And it's been over 12 years, but it's just like, it's these feelings that you can make with such a little
Totally.
effort. It's like the tiniest effort. And some people be like, oh God, but that would embarrass me. Like, I don't know them. It's like, oh, well, at a certain point, and when you get in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, you will hopefully not care about that. Like, you need to start getting over that now, because being embarrassed to tell somebody something nice, like, then we're having a tough time with more things then.
I had someone in high school, I will never forget this. I had this cute little denim mini skirt on, and I loved my outfit. You know, when I was 16, like, your clothes were your everything, your clothes and your hair. And I had some good mall hair too. But I had this cute little denim mini skirt on, and I was walking up the stairs. I don't even know why I was in the hallway. And this guy stopped me on the stairs, and he's like, "You look really hot." And I was like, "Thank you so much." And he was like, "No, you look hot. Are you okay? Like, you look really warm."
Okay, I would remember that too.
If you pay someone a compliment, if they take it the wrong way in a positive way, don't
Just
correct
stop.
them.
Just stop after that. That's fantastic. Yeah, I just feel like those kinds of compliments. Like, I did a challenge one month that it was for 30 days. You send like 2 or 3 voice messages and give somebody a compliment. And it was the coolest friggin' month ever. Like, finding, like, I know a lot of people, so it's not like it was super hard, but I did go out onto the Facebook and be like, okay, who do I just enjoy when they post? Like, it gets so excited. I've got this friend from Utah that has this super cute little chubby daughter. And every month she puts, this is how old she is this month. And I get so excited every single time. I'm just like, oh my God, could you have more of that in my feed? Because her little arms are so chubby and she's so cute. And giving someone like that a compliment, like, they love it. Like, everybody loves compliments. So why not just, tell somebody they're amazing? Like, it should, if we all did more of that, like, I think we'd be happier. At least I anticipate that we would.
I think you're right about that.
So rolling over to, I want to talk to you about your superpower. Like, do you know what your superpower is? And when did you recognize it was unique to you specifically? Because not everybody does the stuff that we do. Like, all the random things that we're really good at, like, not everybody's there.
Yeah, it's funny. So I've had people tell me over the years that I am very good at positioning complex situations in business and making them simple. And so I feel like that's a superpower that I don't really think about or talk about a lot, because it just kind of comes naturally to me.
Yeah.
And so I try to apply that in both, again, my property management side of things, in my coaching and teaching side of things. It's something that I have leaned into over time, but I don't think there was ever a day where I woke up and I was like, I'm amazing at taking complex situations and making them simple. I've just had people tell me that over the years, and then I was like, oh, hey,
I am good at that.
I can do that. I guess I can do that.
That's awesome. Like, I feel like as an adult, I've realized, further into adulthood I get, I'm just like, wait a minute, you don't do this? Like, I find out more and more that people don't think the same way that I do. A perfect example is usually my husband, where I'm like, hey, we just did these 3 things. Now we still have to do these 6 things. And he's just like, oh, I haven't even started thinking about them. I'm like, okay, well, I started thinking about them before we did the 3 things. So I'm thinking about the 9 things and the 12 things. Like, I'm like, I was a project manager for a long time. So I'm always looking, honestly, 6 months out. Like, most of the things that I do, I'm looking 6 months out, 9 months out. And so sometimes even like in the nitty gritty, I'm like, oh, I need to do these tiny things now to make that happen. But I just didn't know that other people didn't think that way. Because I feel like, maybe in your 20s and 30s, you start realizing that you're not necessarily the same as everybody else. because we all do. Like, we're all really good. Like, you know, we might be extroverts and introverts, but truly there's all kinds of versions of being an extrovert and introvert. I know so many introverts that go up on a stage and talk in front of thousands of people, and they get off stage and they have to talk to more people, and they're like, oh crap. I'm like, you just talked to like 4,000 people, but the one-offs that come up to you, or the line of people that want to talk to you, that's where they have a problem. And so realizing we're all different is just like this part of the process when you become an adult. Like, just
my mom sat me down when I was a kid and was very intentional about teaching me that there's nothing wrong with being unique, that it's actually better to be unique and be yourself, and don't try to be like everyone else or someone else specifically. And growing up, I think that was really helpful for me because, you know, when I was in high school, I always looked at other girls that I grew up with and I was like, oh, they're tan, or they're, you know, a size 2, or whatever the case might be. It's very easy to compare yourself to other people. And so I think that lesson that my mom taught me has always stuck with me. I've always kind of leaned into just being myself. This is like who I am, take it or leave it. I like to have fun. I'm wacky, but I'm very business minded at the same time. And some people might go like, wow, she's weird, you know, and I'm cool with that.
Thank goodness for your mom, because if you didn't have the strength to do, I think, like, because a lot of people have these incredible messages that I would love for everyone to know about, and they won't ever get the message out because they're too scared of what other people would think, or, you know, fill in the friggin' blank of whatever the excuse is, because they're everywhere.
I think though, the worst F word in the dictionary is the word fear.
Okay.
I don't know if the other F word is actually in the dictionary. So I don't know
you
if
know
that's really
it is
an accurate statement.
It's
I haven't ever looked it up. Is it really?
I imagine that it is. Like, if I use it that much, we should. Like, I use it as an enhancer. I get really excited. I'm like, oh my God, guys, this is so incredible. So, yeah.
But yeah, the word fear is not something that I think belongs in anyone's day-to-day. And if it's in your day-to-day, find out who can help you get rid of it. Don't try to figure out how to get rid of it. Find out who can help you get rid of it.
Oh, that's amazing, because that's the way I use like my friend groups. I'm just like, I go to them to be like, okay, I'm really, really stuck on this thing because I'm nervous, or I'm whatever. Fill in the blank of whatever excuse I'm making. And those are the people that are going to encourage me to be like, no, you actually know what you're talking about when it comes to this, this, and this. Like, don't worry, like, they're going to follow because of this. And that's like relying on your community to do something like that for you. Like, your community can be one other person, or it can be 10 other people. And applying who, not how to literally your fears and your self-limiting beliefs. Oh, that's such a great idea. I've never thought of like it in that, you know, in that context, that it's, I mean, we do it all the time. Like, you know, like when you get out of the bathroom and maybe you're on a girls' weekend and you're going out and you're just like, how does this look? Well, you're literally asking them to, can you tamp down my fears here? Because does my butt look weird in these jeans or whatever? It's like, no, you're fantastic. Like, this is great. Do you feel good? Let's go.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, that was fantastic. Good for you. That was so fun. I liked hearing it in that context. I'm so excited. Oh, man. Okay. Then we kind of started talking about fear. So I'm really curious, if you could fix one thing, what would it be? I'm intentionally leaving this blank. It could be big or small, personal, global. I don't actually care what it is. Like, what one thing would you fix?
Like in the whole world?
It could be. It could also be something at your house. I don't care.
Ooh, golly. If I could fix one thing, what would it be? I think I would fix the way people treat one another. I would fix the level of animosity and not niceness. Hatred is a strong word, and I see hatred sometimes. But the way, you know, I don't like watching TV because there's so much of that negativity that's, you know, on our screens day to day. I do love Shark Tank though. So I love watching these Shark Tank. I think, again, this world would be so much better of a place if people just treated one another with kindness and had the mentality of paying it forward and going above and beyond for someone else. Think about how different this world would be. So that's probably what I'd fix.
That's good. I feel like that is very sufficient, and I understand why you would say things like that, because it does. It feels like the hate has kind of like boiled up lately.
Yeah,
it's like, what's happening? Social media doesn't help.
Year, and here we, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to hear it. Just like vote who you want to vote for and be done with it.
Yeah. Do we have to put it all over the Facebook when that happens? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, then I think we're close to like wrapping this up. There's one thing like I want to ask everybody that I ever talk to. I'm a connector. Like I think you even mentioned like who's the person that's going to help me with this thing. So I want to know, what one thing are you looking for right now that either I could connect you to, or literally somebody that's listening to this? Like, are you looking for a person? Are you looking for a product? Are you looking for anything that someone could randomly message me about, and I can be like, oh, cool, Stacey's looking for this. Like, let's connect you with Stacey.
Yeah. Probably the biggest thing on my radar at this moment is I am preparing. I'm not there yet, but I'm preparing to do a very large capital raise for a very large project that I'm working on. So if anyone in your world wants to explore potentially investing in this most amazing resort, I would love to be connected with them. It's something that I'm incredibly passionate about and excited about. And at the same time, it's also something that I know that I need the right people and the right folks around me to make that happen. So
that's awesome. All right. Well, perfect. If anybody is looking to put their money somewhere because it's just sitting around, like I used to tell people, do you have any lazy money sitting around? Because if it's just sitting there and it's making 1%, well, what if you can make a little bit more and also get to be involved in a really cool project? So if somebody is looking for something like that, please send me an email. I'll put some information in the show notes so that you can connect. And if it's someone I can connect you with, Stacey, I'd be happy to.
I appreciate that.
Awesome. All right. So I don't have anything else. Do you have anything, one last thing that you would like to tell anybody?
Oh gosh. I think it's just cool what you're doing. So I just want to congratulate you. And this is so fun. I love that you are taking a different approach to finding out about the human side of business and community. And I'm excited for you. And I just think it's really stinking cool. So congrats.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm really excited to see like where this goes. Like I'm trying not to dwell on here, this is the thing I need to do. I'm trying to just be like, let's do something new and cool. Like every day I get to record something with somebody, I get mega excited. Like it is such a fun day. Yeah. So the idea of doing stuff like you talked about quite a bit is like, I'm excited to do these things. Like I'm done not being excited. I'm more of like if it's not a hell yeah, it's a no. And I'm actually trying to put more stock in that kind of comment that it's like, do something that makes you excited and happy. Like, go try out that new thing that you keep. Like if you really want to try pickleball because you've heard about pickleball, go try the new thing. Like go try pickleball or go record a podcast episode with somebody or whatever it is. Like there's people out there that need to hear your message. So it's so fun. So
amen.
Well, sweet. Well, thank you very much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it. And we'll see you in a week, probably.
I love it.